Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode and special edition of Ask the Girl from Schenectady. And I'm your fabulous host, Odumayo Magic Hodumi, aka Ayo Magic, the girl from Schenectady. So this special edition, I had the privilege to interview an incredible man and friend, Baltimore, Maryland native, Mr. Dwayne Williams Jr. He is a pastor. He's also a philanthropist, motivational speaker, community leader, and a lover of Jesus Christ. Yes, honey. So we talked about several different topics, everything from love, dating, relationships, finding purpose, and it was juicy. So let's take a look and see how things went down.
Wow. I think I'm rooted in individuality. Okay. I'm rooted in that. Okay. And what do you mean by that, Dwayne? I'm rooted in figuring out who I am, okay, what I am, what I need to become, how I need to become it. And I think so many people are rooted in, to some degree, a level of trend, okay, approval of people. And I remember one time, one of my friends, he said to me, he said, "Hey, man, you don't wear the lapel flower like that on my jacket." And I said to him, "Why not?" Because that's not the way we wear it. And I asked him, and I said, "Who is we?" Majority of people. What does majority of people have to do with me? Mm-hmm. I think that one of the harsh realities to most people is that you follow something that you see, not understanding that God made you unique and made you who he wanted you to be. And so when you begin to own that and you begin to accept that, it's not that you don't have an example to look at and to say, wow, what they have is really great. But your verbiage change, because what you do is now you're able to say, that's great that they have that. That's nice. But what could I create that is me, that is a resemblance of who God has made me to be? And I think a lot of people suffer with that because we allow the trends of what we see, the examples of what we see, to be indoctrinated into who we are, when really who we are should be indoctrinated to the trends of the world, to the trends of society. And so I think that's where my thought process comes when I say, I want to create my own love story. Mm-hmm. I don't want it to be defined by what my parents did or didn't do. I don't want it to be defined by my favorite celebrity couples that I see. I want it to be defined by who God has made me and that significant other to be to each other. That's a really great question. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really just wanted to have dialogue with men. I think we live in a society now where, let's just really be honest, women are killing the game, killing it. Yeah. They're killing it in their professions. They're killing it at home. They just killing it, right? Ain't no explanation for it. I wanted to create a space where men could just come and really just honestly talk without any judgment, without any apprehensiveness, without any stiffness, but a place where we could just come and give our thoughts, our opinions, maybe some level of facts, not just to help women. I mean, not just to help men, but also to help women, for women to hear and be like, I'm hearing your hearts. I'm hearing your mind. Okay, maybe I'll look at this differently. Maybe I'll view this differently. I think oftentimes we hear so profoundly from women across America and this world. But I think it's something to say that men who are imperfected, who are, not the greatest at all times, we failed somewhere, to come and say, here's where our perspective is concerning life. Here's where our perspective is concerning legacy. Here's where our perspective is concerning love. And us to have an open, transparent dialogue about what that is, what it looks like, how it looks, But then also to be able to say, hey, this is why I think the way that I think. Mm-hmm. This is why I unpack life first. Mm-hmm. Because if I unpack the man's life, then people can understand why he is where he is in his thought process. Mm-hmm. Then we'll unpack legacy, because I think it's important for us to know where we've been, but also where we're going. Mm-hmm. Legacy, where we're going, right? And then move us into a place of understanding and dialoguing about love. And so I wanted to create that space for a transparent moment, because oftentimes I felt like, I'm gonna be honest, I felt like, man, I didn't necessarily have a safe space to really operate in, to really dissect some things that was going on in my mind and in my heart without being judged. And so I wanted to create that, and we just wanted to bring it to a live setting. And I get it. We don't go to the depths of everything, but I will say this: most people who have come on have been completely transparent, and we've gone really deep in some of this. And so I love it, because, you know, men share differently than women, right? Mm-hmm. Women share transparency to a certain level, right? But men, we don't mind sharing it because we understand it's a part of our life, and that's where we are. Yeah. One of the reasons why the diversity of the platform is the way that it is, from a Black man to a white man to a Spanish man to an African man to this man, is because we all experience brokenness at different places and different levels. So oftentimes those men, they come and they share where they've been broken. Some have been broken at childhood. Some have been broken at teenage. Some have been broken at young man. But to hear how they were broken, or maybe still possibly be broken, but working through it or overcoming it, that's a platform that I want to be a part of. That's a platform that I want to create. That is an avenue that I want to project. Not to just know that they are successful and have nice cars and nice houses and money, but to understand the depth of who they are. At its highest level. What I'm about to present is not biblical, but it is practical. Okay. I think oftentimes, I'm a firm believer, let me say this, that you can find life through many biblical principles. Okay. Right? It's just like a job, right? There are some rules in the rule book at work that are just catch 22. One rule can apply to like 7 things, right? Or one scripture in the Bible can apply to like 7 things, depending upon your interpretation, right? At work, one bylaw can apply to like 7 things. And you'd be like, well, it don't specifically say that. I know, but it can apply depending upon how you interpret it. So my presentation that I'm about to give is not necessarily biblical, but it is so much more so a response to the practical you. Do I think that Christian women, and I want to put a slash there, all women, some women sometimes can present something or have high expectations? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying don't have some standards. Don't have some expectations, but I do think that sometimes they are a bit high. And you want to know why I think that? I think that because sometimes pain, unresolved, has a way of making you change who and what you really want to be. Wow. Let me say that again. Pain, unchecked or unresolved, sometimes has a way of changing who you really want to be. Watch this. And sometimes it has the way of changing you subconsciously. Okay. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I'm a giver by nature. Those who are near me know if they say it and I can do it, I'll jump on it. I'll do it. Without them even asking me, I'll do it. Not because I'm trying to prove who I am, but because that's just my nature. That's just the nature of my heart. When God constructed me, he constructed me with that nature. He gave me that nature for a reason. He gave me that nature because he understood and knew that there was a point in time that he was going to be able to use that nature for his glory. But what happens is when sometimes I make decisions that are not necessarily in the path, in the plan of his life. I mean, I'm sorry, in the path and the plan of the life that he's built for me, I then let people in, things in that tamper with the nature that God has given me. So what happens is, if I don't deal with that very thing that is tampered with my nature, with that nature that I have, I go into the next place, extending expectations, but limiting the people that could come into my life. And could actually be a blessing. Because the reality of it is blessings don't always come with gift wrapping on them.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Blessings don't always come. So when I extend my expectation, what I do sometimes is I limit a real blessing from coming in, because what the person before me has done, they have tampered with my nature, that now my expectations go up, that even the very blessing that is supposed to be in my life, sometimes I can miss it because my expectations are high, because I haven't consciously dealt with what has left a residue of dysfunction.
Wow.
So now I'm in this place and I really want love. I really want to be married. I really want to be with somebody, but I haven't really dealt with the dysfunction. And can I add this? Just because you're absent from a person doesn't mean you've dealt with the dysfunction that they left. That's why people be like, I just want to separate. But even if you separate, doesn't mean you dealt with this dysfunction of what was left there. To deal with the dysfunction, sometimes you got to acknowledge it, and then sometimes you got to have a conversation with the person who left it, even if they're open to it. If they're not open to it, then you might have to look at other avenues to deal with that dysfunction, i.e. therapy, counseling, all of that wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
But I really think that most people extend their expectations because they got broke or broke in a place where they gave themselves to people who weren't ready to accept them, who weren't mature enough to accept them, who didn't have the know-how to accept them. And so it caused for them to change the very nature of who they are and extend their expectations, thus sometimes closing themselves off from people who could possibly be a blessing to their life. So even when you bring up, sometimes I've been told that my, what did you say, my Christianity? What did you say? My talk about, my holiness is a problem. Let me say this, your holiness isn't a problem. Maybe the talk of how holy you are is the problem.
Okay.
Because guess what I don't have to do? If I can play basketball, I don't have to talk about it. I can just live about it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
What we sometimes do in relationship is we want to just talk about everything that we can do instead of just living about who we are.
We are. Exactly. I agree.
Because you can stand firm in your holiness without ever saying a word. Your actions prove it. Oftentimes, we just want to show people who we are through our lips, but sometimes let it be shown through our actions. So yes, I do think that some people, some women, probably both men and women, sometimes have high expectations that, the truth be told, if they dissect their own life for a moment, that at some point in time, maybe they weren't there to live up to it, right? Maybe they're not there now. And I think that sometimes it's built out of a place of distorted pain and dysfunction, rather from a place of clarity and understanding. This is the last thing I'll say. I heard a pastor one time tell his wife, said, I don't like this boy for my daughter. And the wife turned to him and said, why? And he said, because he don't have this, he don't have that, he don't have this. And out of concern, that's a legitimate concern. But the mother didn't turn to the pastor. The wife didn't turn to the pastor or the husband and said, hey, you do realize when we first met, you didn't have all of these things.
Wow.
So sometimes as people, even on the other side, on the outside, sometimes as people, what we want the best for people, and that's really great. But how do we get to judge other people for where they are now when once upon a time we were there?
We're there.
So it's the ability, watch this, to have grace. It's the ability to have understanding. And the last thing that we miss is also the ability to discern. Because if I can discern who this person is, then I can make a decision early on that maybe I don't need to go further. No indictment on them, but it doesn't work for me. You understand? And so I think that, yes, we have some moments of high expectations that sometimes we need to come back into ourselves and realize where we are, where we're going, and how we're going. You know, God never said that you were going to meet somebody on the same playing field as you.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Wow. I make people mad with these kind of thoughts, provoking situations, because I think oftentimes we kind of just talk from a place of what we've come to know in our own knowledge, in our own articulation, in our own abilities to think. But God never said you would have somebody on the same playing field as you. He says, "How can two walk together unless they agree?"
Yeah.
You do realize that you may be a CEO, and I may work for you, but we can still agree.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm just trying to paint a picture here that some people think that you have to be on the same playing field of somebody that you're going to be in a relationship with. And that's not true, because that's where growth comes in.
Oof.
Growth comes in when we can just agree, because if we can agree, then we can grow. If we can't agree, then we can't grow.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, sometimes our high expectations are, they're high. I think we overlook the immediate parts of who we are, meaning that there are sometimes we miss what we are gifted at. And it's so funny because sometimes we crosswire what we are gifted at and what we want to do. I want to say it like this, Ayo. I would love to be a civil engineer.
Really? My father's a civil engineer.
Matter of fact, I would love to be a mechanic and know like all of the parts of the car. I would love to do it. Wow. But that's not what I'm good at. What I'm good at is the very things that I do on the regular basis. Talk. Create. And there are so many people who are trying to find purpose because they're looking for like the grand thing instead of searching within them to find the immediate thing. The immediate thing is, watch this, is what you do everything when you get up. When you get up out of your bed, you start organizing, and you organize very well. You organize your shoes, your shirts. That means you can organize. You bring that same skill to a business, to an employer, to life. Maybe you create a business that organizes people's homes, because some people can't organize. So maybe you create a business to say, I'll come in and organize your closet for this fee. We always look for the long distance instead of looking for the immediate place.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes, I do.
That's why I love teenagers, because teenagers in my city, they'll get out here, they'll wash cars for $1 or $2. And I don't mean literally for a $1 bill, but for some money, right? They've created a situation where now they are window wiping.
Okay.
Window wiping cars, like we call them squeegee boys.
Okay.
They thought about this. This was immediate response. Now, whether people like it or not in my city, but what they did was they created an immediate response and they said, hey, people's cars are dirty. Windows are dirty. Let me go out here with a bucket of soap and a squeegee wipe and wipe their window and get a couple dollars. Now, some people don't like it. I loved it because what they thought was, this is an immediate response to my gift.
Yeah.
Some people have so much purpose, but they're looking for the long range instead of searching the immediate response of who they are.
Okay.
The things you do around your house on a daily basis, some of it is really what you're good at.
Yeah.
Take a chance on it.
Yeah.
Take a chance on it. Ask 5 people that you know in your circle, can you come and do this for them? Right? They say, yeah, you can come do it. You do it. Take pictures of it. Oh my God, girl. Then tell them to write a review for you or to post about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And this is how you find that purpose. Sometimes purpose has to be unraveled. Sometimes it doesn't just show up right in your face.
Yeah.
It's the acknowledgement of the immediate parts of who you are, but then it has to be worked and unraveled so that it can be built upon. You build the foundation and then it's built upon. Next thing you know, you look up, hey yo, and you got a $4 million company organizing people closets.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I know guys who were intrigued by shoe boxes. In my city, they took and made actual life-size shoe boxes for you to put 10 pairs of shoes in, 5 pairs of shoes in, 15 pairs of shoes in. And I'm talking about they would make actual life-size shoe boxes of different shoe boxes that you like. Jordan, Adidas, Aldo, whatever you wear, Gucci, Prada. They would make that shoe box and you'll be able to put 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pairs of shoes in it.
Yeah.
They took something that they loved, that was an immediate response inside of them, and they unraveled it until they built the company in it. I wasn't single 5 months ago. I was in a relationship and, things transpired for us to go ahead and just, move on. And, that happened. But if I could really be honest and transparent, I believe I'm single because the best of me was great, but the worst of me was horrible. And so I think to work on a better me, sometimes you need to step away from people. While love is great, romance is great.
Yes.
Waking up to somebody and being able to hang with them every day is great. Taking trips with somebody is great. Y'all just taking random dates and spontaneous. It's all great. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's all great. But sometimes you need a moment to gather you, right? You need a moment to gather you. And I think that sometimes as men, we do a great job at moving on by replacing somebody for somebody. But we don't do a good job with moving on by dealing with us.
Yeah.
And I don't want to indict the men, but I don't want to go down a path where I'm just replacing somebody with somebody without ever addressing who I am. And I think that it is so big of an individual, male or female, who can go and just say, you know what, while yet I endure, while yet I love and enjoy being with somebody, while yet I love and enjoy being with somebody, I just need this moment for myself.
That's good.
To establish some things in my life, to deal with some things in my life. And I hope and pray that when love comes back around again, whether it be from a new person, whether it be from the person that once was, that now we're able to operate in a clean and really honest place for us to watch this. Go back to the first question, to create that love that is different than what we've seen or what our parents have left or what, you know what I mean? And so I think that's just where I am. That's, you know, that's what I'm doing. And I'm doing it honestly. You know, I can't say that I haven't been on a few dates, but I'm doing it honestly, right? Because I want to do it from a place where I can be clean and stable to a degree. Nobody will ever be perfect, okay? No. Nobody. Only Jesus, right?
Yeah.
But I do think that we can really strive towards it. And how do we strive towards it? We strive towards it with the acknowledgement of coming to grips with who we are as people. That there are sometimes, Dwayne, you know what? You can be like this. There are sometimes, Dwayne, you can be like this. There are sometimes, Dwayne, you can be like this. And addressing those things, getting the appropriate help, whether it be, you know, physically from a therapist and getting that help from the Holy Spirit.
Gotcha.
And then moving forward after that. So that's kind of my answer. And so I know there's many people who are like me, who are just, you know, in between working on themselves, like honestly working on themselves. I think that in life, period, family, friends, foes, co-workers, no-nos, and everybody, lottie-dottie and everybody. Some people will compete with you. You will be unknowing, but they will know. Because what they will do is be like, oh, you did this? Yeah, girl, I did this. At some point in time, you will start to discern it and be like, okay, I get what this is, right?
Yeah.
But how you handle it is with the 4-letter word that many of us have to go back to. And I say, I've been saying this and shouting this from the beginning of 2021. We go back to love.
Yeah. Okay.
We go back to love. I think I've had family members that tried to compete with me, and I have nothing for them to compete with. But then again, I'm sorry, I do. And you know what that is? It's not stuff. It's the authentic part of who you are. Wow. See, most people don't compete with you over stuff. They compete with you over your favor.
What?
because here's the thing. They're not competing with you over your stuff because you could be on the same playing field as them. They're competing with you over your favor. And what they don't understand is your favor wasn't just given to you by God because you have nothing else to do or God has nothing else to do. They don't understand that your favor was given to you because there was stuff that you were doing underneath the surface that they didn't understand and know.
Yes. Yeah.
So in their minds, they're trying to wrap around, well, how you get this first and how you get that and what did you do here and how did you do that? But they didn't understand it was just because of your favor. And if they would be man or woman enough to come and ask you and say, how did you get here? You would probably tell them your story that I had to sacrifice a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
See, here's where people go wrong. People use the word sacrifice a lot as a generic term. But I would like people to start asking, what did you really have to sacrifice for you to get here?
Yeah.
Because if they can't give you something that is solidified, it's a generic term to them. No, there are people that don't have a grand title, that don't have a grand position, that don't have grand placing, that had to sacrifice some things for the oil, the assignment, the anointing, the favor that rests on them. And while we like to use it as a generic term in the church and be like, I had to sacrifice, I start asking people, but what did you have to sacrifice? I would love to know.
Yeah.
Because I understand you had to sacrifice some tears, and that's really great. That's cool. But I need the depths of what you had to sacrifice.
Nice. Yeah.
So that I can understand why I need to stop being jealous of your favor.
Favor. Oof. Sorry. I
I need to come to a place where I stop being jealous. So I need to know your story so that then I can walk away and be like, wow, I didn't have to sacrifice all that. You know what? Hey, yo, I'm sorry for trying to cover your favor. I just got caught up in my humanity. I'm sorry. And that's the place we got to come to. People have to understand that your favor is not assigned to you by the color of your skin. It's not assigned to you by how tall or short you are. It's not assigned to you by what you have done out of the kindness of your heart. Your favor is assigned to you by what you really had to go through in life, and why. And watch this. And why God just simply wanted to give it to you, because it was a part of your assignment. It was a part of how He was shaping you. So, I mean, that's kind of, you know, my take on that. How did I handle them? I handled them with love.
Yeah.
Love. See, here's the thing. Love is not what we know it in the human perspective. Love is something that will stretch you if you really start operating in it. Because you be really wanting to say some words to people. You be really wanting to go there with people. But when you really start operating love, you be like, nah, never mind. You got it. You win. And it's not that you're trying to dismiss them. It's just, you just come to a place of understanding, loving my neighbor as myself. And if I want grace, and if I want this, and if I want that, and if I want people to be patient with me, and if I want, I'm gonna just love them.
Wow.
So what that means is I don't have to tolerate everything that they do. I just know how to exit when I need to exit. I know how to enter when I need to enter.
Okay.
Even when it comes to family that's jealous of you, they may need something, I might enter, but I'm not going to necessarily sit around them all day long, because I need to exit. I need to create that space so I can continue to love them, and so that they won't get comfortable and think that they can step outside the pocket, because then I don't want to have to step back outside the pocket with them, because I want to choose to love them. So creating that distance, that distance in love, not in bitterness, not in hate, but that distance in love. Yeah.
My God, my God. I hope this is blessing your socks off as much as it's blessing mine. He said they are competing over your favor, not your stuff. That's deep. So lastly, we had a lightning round, and I asked him a few things to see what his answer would be. Let's take a look and see how that went down. All right, so there's 10 of them. So number 1, kissing or cuddling?
Wow. Cuddling.
Oh, wow. Okay. Cake or ice cream?
All day cake. All day.
Climb a mountain or skydiving?
Wow. Wow. You know, I've never did either one of them, and I do want to do, well, I semi-climbed them out, but I do want to do both of them. I would probably have to go skydiving.
Oh, wow. Okay. A walk in the park or the beach?
Oh, all day long. Now, I just started becoming this like ocean, pool, beach person, and I give credit to my ex for that. She opened me up to that. I'm not, I don't, I wasn't really a big beach guy, but if I had to prefer, the first thing I'm going to prefer is the walk in the park for sure.
The walk in the park? Wow. Okay. Interesting. Rainy day or snowstorm?
Oh, man. That's good. That is good.
You got to pick one.
I'm going snowstorm.
Okay. Wow. Calling or texting?
You precious, beautiful queens of the world. Y'all love phone conversations. Y'all do. But which one? I'm gonna be honest. It really depends.
Okay.
It really depends. But I'm gonna go with the one that I probably do the most, texting.
Texting. Okay.
Please forgive me.
No worries. No judgments at all on your answers. French fries or onion rings?
My God. It depends on where they from. My God. Yeesh.
I know.
I'm gonna go to what's true and what I've been holding up these years. I do eat onion rings periodically, but I'm gonna go with French fries.
French fries. Okay. Fabulous. Would you rather read a faith-based book or watch the film?
Whew. You know what? I am a reader, but I would probably rather watch the film so that I can get the context of the voices and how that sounds when they were saying it.
So Prince or Michael Jackson?
Oh, excuse me for yawning. All day, Michael Jackson.
Thank you. That's what I thought.
I grew up on the moonwalk.
I was gonna disown you if you said Prince on this one.
Hey, but I don't want to discredit Prince because
I love Prince too, though.
Yeah, I love his guitar theatrics, but it's the high heels for me. Any man that wears high heels, I'm not really for that lifestyle. So
I don't mean neither.
God bless you. I ain't got nothing negative to say, but God bless you. Michael Jackson all day long.
All day long, right? Come on now, of course. All right. Last but not least, Catwoman or Wonder Woman?
Woo! That's super good. I hate cats.
You hate cats?
I hate cats. Let this go on record. I hate cats. I can deal with any type of dog you got. I hate cats.
Really?
Sneaky. I possessed one when I was a teenager. I took too long feeding it, and it almost jumped up and took my eye out over here. It scratched me like underneath.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. I'm dead serious. So I hate cats.
I don't blame you. I'm not a fan either.
Anybody watching this, when it's uploaded, I hate cats. Don't come my way with no cat.
So Wonder Woman, then I'm guessing would be your answer.
Definitely for that. Wonder Woman. Yeah,
okay.
And plus she's bright and more colors. That black scares me. All that black and Wonder Woman. And she wear like a nice little skirt too.
Wow. Okay, so no Catwoman and no cats around you. Got it, Dwayne. So on that note, that concludes today's episode of Ask the Girl from Schenectady. Thanks for tuning into this special edition with Mr. Dwayne Williams Jr. You can actually follow him on Instagram. He does the show, the Instagram Live. It's The Locker Room Talk, Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time or 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can also follow Dwayne on his website, which is www.dwjenterprises.com. So please tune in to next week's episode where the topic will be chasing, pursuing, and courting. You don't want to miss that one. And as usual, please comment below. I'd like to know what you thought about this episode. If you'd like to see more special guests be interviewed, please let me know. And as usual, please follow me on Instagram. I am at IOMagic. That is AYOMAJEK. And please like and subscribe. Talk to you later.